Okay, so this is part 2 of our lesson on the cost of home ownership. All right, so this is part 2. Now in part 1, remember we talked about, we looked at 4 problems in part 1. And so I need for you to go back and make sure you review all of these problems that we looked at. Okay. Now let's look at number 5. So number 5, so make sure you get this out. So this is in Canvas. And what we're going to look at here is what's called an amortization table. So this is an amortization table. So let me kind of remind you, we talked about that when we looked at cars. But let me kind of remind you what an amortization table is. So the amortization schedules. So right here, it includes the payment number, the interest for the payment, the amount of the payment applied to the principal, and the balance of the loan after the payment is applied. Now keep in mind that when a mortgage loan is paid off through a series of regular payments, just like a car. So notice every month you're going to pay the same amount. Part goes towards interest, the rest goes towards principal. It is said to be amortized, which literally means killed off. A document showing how the payment each month is split between interest and principal is called the loan amortization schedule. Okay, and this is what this is right here, except this is just for 3 months. All right, you would have it, your bank is required to give it to you for each month for either 15 years or 30 years, whatever the loan amount, whatever the number of years it is. Okay? All right, so you can do this just like you did with a car, so it's very similar to that one. Okay, number 5. Okay, so it says this: the cost of a home is financed with a $130,000 30-year fixed-rate mortgage at 4.5%. You want to find the monthly payments and the total interest for the loan. So before, keep in mind, before you can do this, you need to know what your monthly payment is. Remember that, just like we did with a car. All right, and then now you don't have to find the total interest for the loan to do this. Keep that in mind, but in order to start this table, you have to know what your monthly payment is. Okay. So remember, what's the formula for the monthly payment of an installment loan? It is this. So go ahead and take this out again. So this is number 5, part A. So let's find out the monthly payment. So let's find the monthly payment. Okay, let's find the monthly payment. So the monthly payment will equal, we're using this formula, so take this out. So it'll be the amount you're borrowing, so it's $130,000, times the rate, which is 0.045. You must change it to a decimal. Divided by 12, 12 months in a year. There are 12 installments in a year. And then bracket 1 minus 1 plus 0.045 divided by 12, raised to the negative 12 times, and then the time here is 30. Close the parentheses, and then close the bracket. Okay, now let's use our calculator. Okay, so let's see what this is approximately equal to. So let's see what our monthly payment is approximately equal to. Okay, so 130,000 times 0.045 divided by 12, close the parentheses, divide, parentheses, 1 minus, parentheses, 1 plus, 0.045 divided by 12, close the parentheses. Now let's do the exponent. So exponent, open parentheses, negative 12 times 30, close the exponent, close the denominator, press equal. So it's like $659, round nearest whole number, $659. Okay, so that's my monthly payment. So I found my monthly payment. Now what that means is this, guys. That means that this plus this each month, my monthly payment is $659. That's what that means. $659. Y'all agree? All right, every month, that's what that means. Month number 1, month number 2, month number 3, month number 4, and so on. Okay? The problem is this now. Part of this amount goes towards interest, and part of this amount goes to the principal. Okay? All right. Now, let's go ahead. Still in Part A, although you did not have to do Part B. You don't need this part. You needed this part, but not that part. So let's go ahead and find the total interest. So still in Part B, total interest. Okay, we got to find that. Now, before we can find total interest, what do you think you need to do? Based on all the 4 problems you did earlier, what do you think you need to do? Well, you need to find your total amount, right? Find total monthly payments. Find total monthly payments, all right? So what that mean by that I mean each month you're paying $659. That's per month. There are 12 months in a year, and this is for 30 years. So that's going to be $659 times 12 times 30. So that's $237,240. All right. So that's your total. That's your total payment over a 30-year period. Okay. So the total interest then will be this amount minus the amount you borrowed, which gives me $107,000 and $107,240. Okay, so that's a lot of interest. Think about that. That's a lot of interest. All right, so it helps. Again, it helps if you keep putting more money towards the principal each month, or every 2 months, or every 3 months. It does lower this number in some situations quite a bit. All right, so that's Part A. Now let's do Part B. Part B, I'm going to use this. Okay, so listen to how we did Part B. We talked about cars. So remember that for this part we used when we talked about installment plan. We use simple interest formula for this part. So the simple interest formula, remember, was I equals PRT. I for interest, P for principal, R for rate, T for time. Okay. So remember, for month number 1, I borrowed $100,000, right? So we got to figure out the so this is $130,000 right here. Now be careful, don't put it here. That's not true. I'm just putting it here. Okay, let's find the simple interest for that 1 month. Okay, so for this 1 month, let's figure out how much interest I earned. All right, so here's what you do. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that here. So for the first month, this is Part B. For the first month, remember, we're going to use the simple interest formula. Use simple interest formula. I equals PRT. So for the first month, the interest is going to be the principal. How much money do I owe? Well, I borrowed $130,000, right? So it'll be $130,000 times the rate, which is 0.045, times the time. Now be careful. Remember how many installments are there in that 1 year period? Remember, it's every 12 months, right? I'm sorry, every month, right? And then so that one time period means 1/12 of a year. So in terms of a year, this January or February or March, whatever it is, would be 1/12. So that's my time always, 1/12. Okay, 1/12. All right. So then I get, all right, let me find a calculator. So then I multiply this out. So $130,000 times 0.045 divided by 12 equals $487.50. All right, now for this case, let's actually look. It says round all entries to the nearest cent, okay, nearest cent. All right, so what I found is this now. So this is going to be $487.50. That's the interest for that first month. Now here's my question to you. How do you find the principal? How do you find how much goes towards the principal? Okay. Well, so of this amount, this $487.50 goes towards the interest, and the rest goes to the principal. So to find the principal, so for the first month, the principal, the amount going towards the principal is what I mean, will be $659 minus $487.50. Okay. So $659 minus $487.50. So that's $171.50. So $171.50. All right. Now, here's the next thing you got to find, the loan balance. Well, you paid this amount, right? Part of that, though, went towards the interest. This amount goes towards the what? The principal, which is the loan balance. So to get the loan balance at the end of that first month, you say this minus this. So the loan balance will be $130,000 minus the amount that went towards the principal, which is this, $171.50. And so at the end of that 1 month, you still owe $129,828.50. That's how much you owe. You're like, oh Lord, I've got a lot left to go over, or to pay off, right? Okay, now we do the next month. Okay, so this is going to be month 2. So here's how we do this. So this is the first month. See the work for the first month? Let's do the second month. So let's talk about the second month. All right, so let's talk about the second month. All right, second month. Okay, so I got to find the interest. Remember, you're going to use a simple interest formula. So the interest will equal the principal. Now be careful, the principal is no longer that amount. It's this amount. Is that clear? That's how much you now owe. So you're going to say $129,828.50 times the rate, which is 0.045, times that month, 1 month. Remember, how do you convert months to a year? You divide 12 into 1. Okay? All right, and so that's going to equal, again, you got to make sure you're using it says round nearest cent. All right, so let's see what we get. 129,828.5 times 0.045 divided by 12. And you get $486.86. Okay? Round to the nearest cent. Make sure that's what you got. Nearest cent. Don't say 85. It's nearest cent, 86. Okay, so make sure you round off correctly. So don't say $486.85. It says round to nearest cent. Okay, so you got to look at the thousandths place before you round off. All right, so that's going to go here now. Look what's happening. So 486.86. All right, so remember, each month you pay the same amount. Part of that goes towards the interest. The rest goes towards the principal. So how much went towards the interest? How much of this went towards the interest? This amount. The rest of this goes where? It goes towards the principal. So it'll decrease that number here. Okay, so let's find out how much will go towards the principal. Okay, this is the amount that will go towards the principal. All right, so we're going to subtract this from here. Okay, so I'm going to say principal will equal 486, subtract, oops, sorry, 659, subtract that. And you're going to get, so 659 subtract 486.86 equal 172.14. Now, I want you to notice something. Why do you think the interest that each month is decreasing? Why is that? Because the loan balance is decreasing. So if the loan balance is decreasing, the interest you owe is decreasing, which means, and then locate this, kind of like an inverse relationship. So look at this. So the amount that goes to the principal gets bigger, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you can pay each month, if you can pay more towards the principal, like let's say you added an extra $200 here, that would decrease that by 200, which will decrease this more. Okay, so that's why many people, even though they owe that amount, they will add an extra 100, an extra 200 to this amount to decrease the principal more, to decrease the loan amount more. Okay? All right, so then how do you find this? Well, you take that amount, subtract it from here. You understand? You take this, subtract it from this, and that gives you this. So the loan balance will equal 129828.50. So $129,828.50 minus $172.14, and that's going to equal, all right, so let's do that. So that's going to be 129,828.5 subtract 172.14 equal $129,656.36. So that goes here. So under 29,656.36. Okay? Now let's do one more month. So notice the monthly payment's the same. Okay, so let's find the interest. So this will be the third month. All right, so for the third month, let's find the interest. So interest will be the principal. How much money do I still owe? I still owe this amount, okay? So it's not this, it's now this. That's how much I now owe. So $129,656.36 times the interest times the rate, which is 0.045 times 112. All right, because remember, we're doing each month, and there are 12 months in a year. Okay, so 129,656.36 times 0.045 divided by 12. Now, before I press equal, tell me something about the interest. Should the interest that I put here be bigger than this one? Yes, it should. I'm sorry, no, it's supposed to decrease, right? Why should it decrease? Because this amount is smaller. All right? Okay, so let's see. Press equal. I get 486.21. Now see what this is? Round to nearest cent. What's nearest cent means the nearest hundredth. So nearest thousand, if you look at this, a thousandths place is 1, so that stays 1. Okay, so notice it did go down, right? Not by much, but in the long run, it does go down pretty quickly. So 486.21. Now, so of the $659 I paid, $486.21 goes towards the interest, which if I recall, is, where is it? Right here. Remember, that's how much interest. So how can I lower this amount? How can I lower that total interest in the end? I can lower that total interest by, remember how we discussed this, by adding more to this principal so I can decrease the loan amount. Okay? All right, so that's that. Now, how do I, okay, so this amount went, of the amount I paid, this went towards principal. How do I figure out how much goes towards the interest, rather? How much goes towards the principal? Well, you subtract this from this. So the principal will be $659. Subtract how much interest went towards it, equal. All right, so let's see what we get. So 659 minus 486.21 equal. So that's 172.79. So notice it's getting bigger, the principal amount. And so what's my balance? So that's going to go towards my balance. So I'm going to owe now. So my balance will be this amount right here. Subtract this. So that's going to be, let me go ahead and take this off. So that's going to be 129,656.36. Subtract, remember this is the amount that goes towards the principal, towards the loan balance. So 172.79 equal, and let's see what that is. So minus 129,656.36 equal, so 129,483.57. Is that what y'all got? And so that goes here. Okay, so let's see. So I'm just writing this right here. That goes here. So 129,483.57. Okay? So, and then you would do the same thing for the 4th month, same thing for the 5th month, and so on. Okay? Alright, so that takes care of number 5. So this is called amortization schedule. So every bank is required to give you this for each month. This is what the interest of your total of your monthly payment. They would tell you what amount goes towards interest and what amount will go towards the principal, your loan balance. Okay? All right, now let's look at number 6. Okay, so number 6, most financial advisors suggest that you spend no more than 28% of your gross monthly income for your mortgage payment. They also suggest that you spend no more than 36% of your gross monthly income for your total monthly debt. So monthly debt includes the mortgage, includes credit cards, whatever you owe. Okay, that's your monthly debt. Okay, suppose that your gross annual income is $42,000. Now that's gross. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month on a mortgage payment? All right, so let's look at part A. So this is 6, part A. Now that's actually an easy one right there. And you're going to see why. So 6, part A. All right. So what is the maximum you should spend each month on a mortgage payment? All right. So the financial advisors, most of them suggest that you spend no more than 28%. So the maximum is 28%, so 0.28 of your gross income, because that's what it says, right? Now be careful. Now that's gross monthly income. But notice this right here is annual. So what you need to do first is find out your monthly income. So the annual income, your gross annual income is $42,000, right? How do you find your gross monthly income? Gross monthly income. Well, you take your annual income, divide by 12. And so your gross monthly income then, let's see, 42,000 divided by 12 is $3,500. So that's your gross monthly income. So what's the maximum? What's the maximum amount that should be spent each month on mortgage payment? So that's 28% of your gross monthly income. So 3,500 equal, let's see what that is. So 3,500 times 0.28, $980. $980. So that's the maximum monthly. That's the maximum monthly payment that's a maximum amount you should pay towards a mortgage payment. So that can help you to determine whether you can afford that mortgage or not. Okay? All right. Part B. Part B says this. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month for total credit obligations? All right, so they say no more than 36%. So of your total credit obligations, 20% would go towards the mortgage, and the rest would go towards your other credit obligations. Now, most people, they way above that amount. So, but always be careful. You need to spend within your means so you don't get yourself into credit trouble. Okay, so again, I'm still using the same monthly income right here, except this time it's 36%. So maximum, and this is maximum is 36%, so 0.36 times 3,500 equal, so let's see, 3,500 times 0.36 equal $1,260. Okay? Now, remember, Part A, remember, was what's the maximum you should spend on a mortgage payment? That's this. For that amount, right? For this particular annual income, gross annual income. For all credit obligations, credit cards, mortgages, car loans, whatever it may be, this is what they're telling you should be the maximum. But again, if you look at most people, all their credit obligations is probably way above that 36%. But if it's too far above the 36%, you could get yourself into a lot of trouble financially. So be careful. Okay, now I just want to remind you that, see, this amount's included in here, right? Because your credit obligations include your mortgage payments, include your car loans, include your credit cards and all that. All right, Part C. If your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of the maximum that you can afford. So in other words, this is the maximum you can afford, right? But let's suppose you don't pay that amount. You're paying less than that. Let's say it's 80% of that. Here's the question. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month for all other debt? Okay, so let's talk about this for a moment. Okay, do y'all agree that this right here means all debt, right? So for this example, for all debt, the maximum is $1,260. Y'all agree? Okay. If I take the mortgage away, so for all debt minus the mortgage will equal, so 1260 minus 980 equal 1260 minus 980 equals $280. Y'all agree? So that means is that if I actually spent this amount, then I only have $280 to deal with all the other debt, car note, credit cards. When you think about that, that doesn't sound right, does it? That's because most of us go way beyond our means. Okay, so most Americans have credit card debt, so you don't want to try and get credit card debt. Okay, now what they're saying, Part C, is this. Let's suppose that I don't use up all of this amount. I only use up 80% of that. The rest can go towards this. That's what that's saying. Okay, so for Part C, here's what I would do first. So first of all, let's find 80% of 980. So 80% of 980 means 0.8 times 980, which gives me, so 980 times 0.8, which gives you 784. So that means that in this example, this is the actual mortgage amount. Okay, so instead of being $980, the maximum, I'm only using this amount. So what do I have left over? I have left over 980, subtract 784, which gives me 980, subtract 784, 196. And I can apply that to this now. So the question is what's the maximum amount you should spend for each month on the other debt? So the maximum now, so instead of the maximum for the other debt being $280, see it says other debt, right? Other debt, that's important, other debt. So other debt, instead of it being $280, I can add this amount to it. So the maximum for other debt becomes 280 plus 196, which gives me, so 280 plus 196, which gives me $476. Okay? All right. So that is, in a nutshell, that is quite a bit of stuff for this section. But go back, I need for you to go back and for this is part 2 now, go back and look at how to complete an amortization table. It's very similar to the one with a car, except this is a mortgage instead. Finding the interest is the same. You're going to use a simple interest form. You do the same thing with the car, with an installment plan for the car. And in part 6, part A and B is very straightforward. It's part C where I really need for you to go back and make sure you understand how to find the maximum for the other debt. Okay? All right, so that's going to take care of part 2 of this lesson.